M's second visit to Sri Ramakrishna took place on the southeast veranda at 8 o'clock in the morning. The master was about to be shaved, the barber having just arrived. As the cold season still lingered, he had put on a moleskin shawl, bordered with red. Seeing M, the master said, "So, you have come. That's good. Sit down here." He was smiling. He stammered a little when he spoke. Sri Ramakrishna to M. "Where do you live?" M. "In Calcutta, sir." Sri Ramakrishna. "Where are you staying here?" M. "I am at Barangor, at my older sister's, Ishan Kaviraj's home." Sri Ramakrishna. "Oh, at Ishan's? Well, how is Keshav now? He was very ill." M. "Indeed, I have heard so too. But I believe he is well now." Sri Ramakrishna. "I made a vow to worship the mother with green coconut and sugar on Keshav's recovery. Sometimes, in the early hours of the morning, I would wake up and cry before her, 'Mother, please make Keshav well again.' If Keshav doesn't live, whom shall I talk with when I go to Calcutta?" And so, it was that I resolved to offer her the green coconut and sugar. Tell me, do you know of a certain Mr. Cook who has come to Calcutta? Is it true that he is giving lectures? Once, Keshav took me on a steamer, and this Mr. Cook, too, was in the party. M. Yes, sir, I have heard something like that, but I have never been to his lectures. I don't know much about him. Sri Ramakrishna. Pratap's brother came here. He stayed a few days. He had nothing to do and said he wanted to live here. I came to know that he had left his wife and children with his father-in-law. He has a whole brood of them. So, I took him to task. Just fancy, he is the father of so many children. Will the people from neighborhood feed them and bring them up? He isn't even ashamed that someone else is feeding his wife and children, and that they have been left at his father-in-law's house. I scolded him very hard and asked him to look for a job. Then he was willing to leave here. Are you married? M. Yes, sir. Sri Ramakrishna with a shudder. Oh Ramlal, alas, he is married. Footnote 1. Ramlal, a nephew of Sri Ramakrishna and a priest in the Kali temple. Footnote ends. Like one guilty of a terrible offense, M sat motionless, his eyes fixed on the ground. He thought, "Is it such a wicked thing to get married?" The master continued, "Have you any children?" M this time could hear the beating of his own heart. He whispered in a trembling voice, "Yes, sir, I have children." Very sadly, Sri Ramakrishna said, "Ah me, he even has children." Thus rebuked, M sat speechless. His pride had received a blow. After a few minutes, Sri Ramakrishna looked at him kindly and said affectionately, "You see, you have certain good signs. I know them by looking at a person's forehead, his eyes, and so on. Tell me now, what kind of person is your wife? Has she spiritual attributes? Or is she under the power of avidya?" M. She is all right, but I am afraid she is ignorant. Master, with evident displeasure, "And you are a man of knowledge." M had yet to learn the distinction between knowledge and ignorance. Up to this time, his conception had been that one got knowledge from books and schools. Later on, he gave up this false conception. He was taught that to know God is knowledge, and not to know Him, ignorance. When Sri Ramakrishna exclaimed, "And you are a man of knowledge," M's ego was again badly shocked.